Hey everyone, John Mashew here from the Veterans Healing Farm. Today is another wet day. As you can see behind me, it's just getting ready to start to rain again, and we've got our drainage pipe that we've been putting in and haven't quite finished with it and can't get it in quick enough is what it's looking like. But so far everything's looking okay. Tomatoes are, at least they don't have wet feet. That's the most important part, is that you don't have your plants in stagnant water. That could be very problematic for most plants. And what we have right here, this corrugated pipe, is going to be filled in with gravel, and that'll allow all this water, which is currently collecting, to drain off. And we've actually got a group of people right now doing the final touches for our watermelons. Before we moved on to the watermelons, I just wanted to show you guys a possible issue with rainy weather, especially here in the south. We have a lot of humidity. Fungal issues are a big deal for us. We often have, especially for tomatoes. So we're struggling with an issue that I wanted to point out, and I'm going to be having a plant pathologist come out here shortly. So we'll probably test this to see what it is, but I'm not 100% sure. I have an idea what I think it might be. And I have a product called Activinate. It's a bacterium. It's an organic fungicide, and I think that may be necessary at this point. It's really important to keep your site really clean, try to have airflow, try to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to reduce the possibility of contamination. But on wet days in the south, when you have that extended wet weather in the evening time, these kind of things happen. So there are steps that you can take in order to deal with it. It's never fun, but sometimes it's necessary. So I just wanted to point that out. That way you guys can be encouraged. Maybe you guys are struggling with some issues as well. So right now the rain's starting to come down. We've got the troops behind us just pushing through it. Hopefully we'll get at least some of these cantaloupes planted. We put the last bit of plastic. This is going to be a combination of probably 6 different types of melons. And one thing that's pretty interesting that you might not know is the colors of the plastic actually affect the plants differently. The blue plastic will increase the production of watermelons and cantaloupes and cucumbers by about 20%. Red plastic does the same thing for tomatoes, and it has to do with the wavelength of the light spectrum hitting the plant, kind of bouncing off the plastic. And it's not something that I have a tremendous amount of knowledge in, but I do know that it is scientifically verified. And white plastic is used for lettuce and broccoli crops. It reduces the soil temperature. Silver reflective plastic is basically a mirror that will disorient thrips and aphids, and it's used for pest control. And the standard black plastic that you often see is used not only for weed pressure, but it also will heat up the soil. So things like pepper and tomatoes, crops that like that warm soil, will benefit from having that heat. In between each row we have a good amount of space, and we're covering it with wood chips right now, and that's going to allow us to basically take care of our weed pressure this year. Also the benefits of water retention and just clear area for kids to kind of walk through. Come over here. All right, so real quick before we wrap things up, this is Stephanie.
What's happening?
Stephanie's a dear friend. We met about a year ago.
Yeah, but we're outward bound over a year ago.
Over a year ago, we were on an Outward Bound trip. For those of you guys that don't know Outward Bound, it's essentially an organization that takes veterans on outdoor trips. And we went to the Florida Keys, went on a sailing trip, and now she's just here visiting. And so what's your impression of the farm so far?
This farm is great. I didn't know it was this big. I had saw some pictures in the past that you showed me, but now that they have the new quarters for people to sleep in that's getting set up, it's amazing. I can't wait to see the final farm in its final stages, but it's coming along awesome.
I can't wait either. It's a lot of work, but the Taj Mahal wasn't built in a day, so slowly but surely. We just keep eating a bite of the elephant each day and we'll get through it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. I'm saying, now this is why I spend